Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are at Tower Hill State Park here in Wisconsin, and we're going to be checking out something pretty unique. This is a historic site that also has some other amenities here. There's going to be a really neat overall picture of this park today that you can see, and it might encourage you to check out beautiful state parks in Wisconsin. So buckle up, Buttercup, and let's go and find out more. As we first enter the park, they have a legend here right by the firewood station. You enter through the park entrance. They have staff parking and then also a contact station for the park office. We are then able to go through and over toward the parking area. The parking area is going to take us to the picnic area, a historical marker, and then also the trails that take us out to the shot tower and smelt house, an old ox trail, and then also there's a little bit of a tunnel down here, in addition to a gazebo. Now, the way that this is going to work is we're going to be able to get out here and really explore. The Site 8, which is this last campsite right here, to the shot tower is approximately 3/10 of a mile. It does break down what kind of elevation changes or what kind of things that you might face, but we're going to actually be going from the shelter pavilion area right here. And if we go from the shelter to the tower, it's about 1/5 of a mile, steep uphill climb. So this is going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait to share this with you. Now, typically all Wisconsin parks are paid, and so for day use, it's usually $8 for Wisconsin residents, but they do have a discount for seniors. It brings that down to $3. And so my barn grew. My good Welsh mason would have nothing of the American 20-inch walls, nothing less than 24 inches. Stone must be laid in courses, such as would benefit the cathedral wall. And this is from Jenkin Lloyd Jones' sermon, The Barn Building, from September 20th, 1908. That same Jones family dedicated this park, the Tower Hill, to the state of Wisconsin in 1927. And this is where our journey begins. As we move around, we will see some stonemasonry, some interesting things, and some unique stops. But as we move throughout, just know that this is going to be unlike most of the adventures we go on. Starting out today's adventure in this ruin that is right inside of the state park gates. As you come in, you can go off to the right toward a picnic area, toward the left toward a camping area, or into this structure right here. It is fascinating because the very 20-inch walls he was just speaking on were right here. You can see these thick walls that were put together by this stonemason with care. And as you're looking around, you can see this was built to last. Now, during this time, stonemasonry would have been used so that people could, in fact, have very unique structures that were more durable. In fact, the only thing that wouldn't have been made of stone would have been the very roof that we were standing under. And notice, that's the only thing that is not here today. Stone buildings were built for structure, support, to withstand the elements, to keep in the cool and the heat, depending on what time of year that you were here. And as we know, Wisconsin can have some pretty gnarly winters. So this would have been a haven, and its well-constructed walls still remain today. So it's pretty fascinating to see. But this is only the beginning of our journey. We're going to get in the van and drive through to see what else we can find. The nice thing about this rappel is I can just kind of like rub it in with my own arms, and then it's everywhere. We have made it over to the parking area, and you can see there's a couple of interesting buildings over here. And then in this direction is our hike. So we're about to take off looking for the shot tower. Okay, it's time for us to find the shot tower, which is at the top of this hill. There is a historical marker approximately 50 feet away. And from 1833 to 1861, lead from southwest Wisconsin was brought here and formed into lead shot. They produced buckshot that was buckshot size and smaller, so shots that were smaller than buckshot. And the smelter house and the shot tower, both located on the top of this hill. This was also part of the original plat for the second village of Helena. The original first village was about 2 miles away from there. But this is a beautiful park, so let's get to exploring. And then when we come back down from the top of the hill, we'll check out some of the campgrounds. We got up to the place right before you go up the really steep hill, and I'm taking a little water break because it's a nice steep hill, but also there's a lot of mosquitoes out here, so it's a nice place, but definitely a little bit more steep. So be prepared. This is also not ADA friendly at all, so just so you guys know. But with that, let's get going. Like this one just bit the dust. Holly's way up there, so we just gotta go catch up with her. See how steep that is though? It's definitely quite an elevation gain, but it's gonna be okay. Just stick the course and we'll be at the top of the shot tower soon. It's honestly not that far, but it is a pretty sharp gain in elevation. The entire time I've been kind of leaning forward. That helps. But now we get to some stairs and then we're almost there. Just right up this way. It is at the top of the stairs that we learned that 20 years before Wisconsin became a state, they discovered a vast lead deposit and it brought about a population boom. Green Bay merchant Daniel Whitney organized the Wisconsin Shot Company to build a shot tower on this very site, the one that we're about to go and check out. And they dug out the shaft with a pick and the gad, and they removed the earth in buckets. And the history of the shot tower is told in the detailed exhibits within the tower house that we are about to enter. They might have not had the biggest and best of the tools, but they created amazing things, and this is what we're about to go and find out more. As you can see, this is a place on the Wisconsin State Registry of Historic Places, and we're about to find out why. As we move into the smelter house, there's a lot of great information here, including the story of the original Tower Hill and also Old Helena. Helena was originally discovered as a result of some people trying to chase the Black Hawk Indians, and along this timeline you can find out about that origin of this area, and then as it kind of moved around until we ended up with this smelter house. Now at the bottom of the hill, whenever we first arrived, we saw the beautiful stonemasonry from one individual. His family story is right here behind me, and it's fascinating that you can read through each of these articles and learn a little bit more about his life, his family, and then also the original deeding of this land over to the state of Wisconsin. They wanted to use this land so that it could be a resource to teach all of us about something that happened in the past. But more importantly, they wanted it to be here so people could enjoy the natural space itself as well as all of those who had come before them. Now, as we walk around the smelting house, you find some very interesting signs that tell you about the process of how this would work in them creating the shot and why the tower had to be so tall. You see that they would bring in the materials that were the raw materials, and as they would process them in a certain way. And then the long shot tower on the outside would be where they would drop that down into cooling, and that would form all of the tiny little pieces of shot that they would develop. This was a tedious process. It was very warm, and even being here on a day that's in the high 70s, it's already quite humid, so I can imagine what it would have been like whenever the fires were burning and they were creating these things. It probably would have been a pretty tough job. But it also has some other exhibits here where you can learn a little bit more about what the things are that they might have used to create these resources, and I think that that's pretty neat. But at the back of the building, that's one of my favorite parts. You actually get to see where they would fire these things and also the tower itself. Now all of this is enclosed, so you cannot lean over or anything like that. It's far too dangerous because that's a huge drop. But it is fascinating to see that they've been able to preserve this in such an interesting way. Now, a fun fact, however, this is not the original building that stood here. This is a replica building using drawings and renderings and blueprints from the original. So the sizing is similar, the materials are similar, but over time, through wear and tear, and then also probably nefarious acts, they did have to renovate and create a new space for us. But boy, am I glad that they did, because this is absolutely fabulous, and it's a wonderful way for us to come here and get a few brain wrinkles. But there's also an outdoor viewing area, so let's go check out what's outside and see what kind of views that we can get from this high atop viewpoint. And also if we can see down to where that tower might have dropped that shot. So we can leave out the side door, and it takes us over to this fence line, which has a few views, but they're kind of overall not as easy to see. But you can crawl up here and look down and see the vast, huge tower that lay below us. The bottom of this tower is where the shot would go down, and you can see there's some stairs down there and a little platform. But there's another viewing point that gives you a little bit better perspective of the outdoors. And for this one, I might have to put my sunglasses back on because it's a bit brighter and a little less under the shade. But this is an unimpaired view. You can see it through the trees, and you can see all of the beauty of this land around us. Wisconsin's a beautiful state, and there's lots of green, lush vegetation, lots of amazing places that you can go, and the state park system here is phenomenal. But from this viewpoint, It is absolutely spectacular. You can see into neighboring communities, you can see the waterways, and you can see all of the lush vegetation below you on the forest floor. The expanse of the space seems limitless from up here. It seems like if you were here on a quiet day, you could hear everything. Even visiting on a day like today where it's been a little bit more busy, we can hear the birds, the chirping, the wind through the trees, and so much more. Okay, just as we came up, we now must go down. The good thing is it's always easier going down than it is going up. Just take your time, use the handrail on the stairs, and you should be fine. Now that we have made it down to the bottom of the trail, we were kind of looking around at the other things that are available here. They do have this shelter structure, which is available for reservations if you have special events. They have a couple of other things in this direction that I'm very curious about. Oh, this is indeed. It's the old Helena site right here. This is a thriving and important town of lead mining days. Was here on July 28, 1832, and troops crossed the Wisconsin River in the pursuit of the Indians. And that was what we were talking about at the tower up there. So this is the original site of the old Helena. Somebody is currently camping here and using it kind of as a drying place, which, okay, but there is a historic marker here, so don't forget to check this one out. And you can see the campsite's kind of behind. They are up into the wooded area. They're nice for all of the different people who are camping. You have some flat spaces for tents. They have a couple of other little outbuildings over here as well, and then they do have vault toilets in this direction. All of this main space is all open park area that you can come and explore and enjoy. And I think that this is a wonderful way, again, to get out, see a little piece of Wisconsin history, enjoy something new, and have a day to recreate where you can have a picnic in the park. And just like that, we are back where we began, in the parking lot of the state park. This was a wonderful place to visit today. I definitely implore you to look up all the state parks, not only here in Wisconsin, but across the United States. You never know what you'll find. Some state parks are free, some have a cost of admission. Why not do a little Google and see what's near you? If you have a free park near you, check it out. There's literally nothing stopping you other than yourself. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.